Marauders for the Month by lishiee. Chapter 26. The Boys in the Lake. Lunch the next day was the first time Lily saw Pandora after their kiss. She couldn't help the way her heart fluttered and her stomach did flips just at the sight of the girl. It didn't help the blinding smile she was met with when she slid into the spot next to the girl. "Hi, love," Pandora murmured, leaning over to give her a peck on the cheek. Lily went red all over. "Hi," Lily smiled. Today, Pandora's braids were tied into two low ponytails, flowing down her back. Her bangs were curled every which way, looking unruly but neat at the same time. Lily wanted to reach out and touch it, and for the first time, she realized she could. Pandora smiled softly as Lily reached out and twirled her bangs around her pointed finger. The girl's hair was so soft like butter. "Your hair is very pretty," Lily mumbled, eyes crossing slightly so she could stare at it. "Is that right? Pretty?" Pandora hummed with a small smirk. If it was possible, Lily got more red. "Oh, hush," Lily chided, benching Pandora's cheeks together and making her lips pucker, before turning back to the table and grabbed food. She wasn't sure where the confidence to touch her came from. Just looking at her used to make Lily turn into a mess. It was like nothing and everything changed all at once. It was the same but different. Pandora just made it feel natural. The light touches, small glances, her confidence bled into Lily so easily. When Lily finally looked back up, all of her friends' eyes were glued to the two of them, ridiculous smiles covering each and every one of their faces. "What?" Lily whined, feeling the blush creep back up her neck and blooming on her face. "Christ, you two are as bad as Remus and Sirius," James laughed. "Oi!" Sirius snapped, shoving James's shoulder so hard he bumped into Mary and Marlene. The two girls protested the sudden roughhousing, pushing back against the two boys with shouts and yelps. Remus and Peter looked at each other exhaustedly before wrestling the boys apart. Those two could be insufferable when together. Remus and Pete dealt with the brunt of it. "You want to talk?" Lily arched her eyebrow at James, who was fixing his hair while smirking at Sirius. Pandora snickered as his face fell, and he froze up. Sirius flitted his eyes between the two of them until realization dawned on his face. He looked absolutely appalled. "You know? Does everyone know but me?" he screeched. At the same time, Mary and Marlene landed their piercing gazes on Lily. "You lot will have to catch them if you really want to know." Lily shrugged her shoulders and went back to eating, not batting an eye when bickering started through their group. Remus looked around, ready to blurt out who it was. "Ooh, Lily Jane Evans, if you don't tell me who it is, I'm going to kill you," Mary shrieked as Marlene held her back from lunging across the table. "Jane?" Pandora asked softly, propping her head up against her arm. The girl had been relatively quiet until now, wordlessly watching. "What's yours?" "Then have one." Lily reached over and grabbed Pandora's free hand, rubbing soothing circles across it. "That's a shame." Pandora nodded her head solemnly. The rest of lunch went by quickly after the subject of James's love life had been dropped. Pandora walked with her halfway to class before they split off, going their separate ways. Alchemy was a bore compared to what she knew she could be doing. The thought of only passing time by Pandora's side was pleasant and a much-needed reality. There was nothing Lily wanted to do more, so she worked hard in alchemy, begging the time to pass quickly. The professor assigned homework, but she couldn't care less about it once the clock chimed, signaling the end of class. Her things were gathered up in a flurry, papers flapping outside her bag as she strode over to the door and out into the corridors. All three girls were patiently waiting for her, conversation lulling when Lily appeared. "What's this?" Lily asked, landing her eyes on each girl waiting for an answer. Pandora walked up to her and slyly snuck her hand down to interlock their fingers. Lily gave a slight squeeze, still waiting for a response. "Prank planning, of course," Pandora beamed. Mary and Marlene nodded their heads vigorously, openly thrumming with excitement. They only waited a few seconds for Lily to catch up before they were off towards Gryffindor Tower. "First night of freedom!" Marlene shouted, skipping backwards and pumping her fist in the air with glee. "It's about to be a loss if you don't keep your voice down," Mary scoffed, whirling the girl around so they could walk faster. Lily and Pandora laughed with each other as a bickering fight broke out between them. It was finally time to have some fun again. "Any ideas?" Mary asked, tongue ever so slightly sticking out of her mouth as she chopped away at Marlene's hair. The two girls were stationed at Mary's vanity, which now looked like a hair salon. Since about their third year, Mary had been cutting Marlene's hair every few months or so, keeping it in the shaggy mullet it was always in. It somehow turned the dorm into a mess every time. "I'm not sure," Pandora hummed. They were both splayed out across Lily's bed, Pandora on her back and Lily on her stomach. Pandora was messing with Lily's hair like a cat does with yarn. No complaints though, it was very relaxing. "All right," Lily winced, finally remembering to tell the girls and propping herself up a little taller. "James is onto us. This will probably be the last prank." Pandora pushed herself up on her elbow. And Mary whipped around to face her. "What?" both girls echoed. "Yeah, I forgot to tell you guys," Lily grimaced. She laid her head on her hands before continuing. "After he called the two of you, he said he knew I was involved and he was going to figure out what we were up to. He hasn't done anything since, but we should still be careful." Pandora hummed thoughtfully and let herself drop back onto the bed to roll onto Lily's side. Mary turned back to continue cutting Marlene's hair. "Well, we have to do something big then, yeah?" Mary smirked, making a big chop with a grin. Marlene flinched and whipped around to glower at her. Mary planted her hand on the girl's shoulder and turned her back around. "I agree. I also think that we should do something to them. You know, get them back for all the times they've messed with us." Lily smirked, reaching over to run her fingers over one of Pandora's braids. The grins that reflected to Lily from the mirror confirmed they wanted to do the same. Mary made a few more silent cuts, focusing intently on Marlene's shaggy hair before speaking up. "We should each take a boy," Mary mumbled. Mary mumbled over the comb between her lips. "I feel serious." "I've got Pete," Marlene piped up. Lily turned to glance down at the girl, flush to her side, as Mary and Marlene chatted. Pandora was looking at her with those wide blue eyes, and she couldn't help but smile at her. The earrings she had on caught the light, and Lily reached out to fiddle with them. "Are you fun for Remus?" Lily whispered. Pandora tipped her head back to fully take in Lily's face, eyes tracing every feature. Lily continued to fiddle with her earring. They were cute little frogs that were enchanted to stick their tongues out. "Yeah, that's fine." Lily hummed at the response, sliding her finger from the earring to the girl's chin. She passed her thumb over it a few times before dropping her hand back onto the bed. Lily turned to the two girls, who whipped their heads forward, pretending like they weren't watching. They were never slick with it. "I've got James then," Lily concluded. All the girls shook their heads in agreement, falling back into silence, where the only sound was the snipping of scissors against Marlene's hair. Lily watched as Marlene's hair slowly got shorter, making the grin on Marlene's face only get wider. Small locks of golden hair fell limp to the floor that Lily knew she'd have to clean up later. "There," Mary stepped back to admire her work with a small smile on her face. Marlene leaned in close to the mirror and looked at it with all the happiness in the world. Even though the girl had gotten the same haircut so many times, her reaction of utter awe never faded. "It's perfect," Marlene beamed, leaning her head back to smile at Mary. The girl lightly patted Marlene's cheek before turning around and flopping down on her bed. Marlene followed soon after, taking time to fluff up her hair. "So what exactly are we going to do?" Mary drawled, starting up at the top of the bed as Marlene slid in next to her. The room was silent again for a while. Pandora's soft breath tickled Lily's neck as the girl cuddled in closer. It was the epitome of peace. Right when Lily's eyes were fluttering closed and sleep was pulling her under, Marlene gasped and clapped her hands together, shooting Lily's eyes open. "All Alright, I say we do this Friday because I have an idea for then. You are all free to do whatever with your designated boy until nightfall. Once it's dark out, bring them to the lake for a little surprise. There's this person I snuck out to see at Hogmeade last week that's going to sell me something amazing. We can go get it on Wednesday after dinner, Marlene explained rapidly. Mary arched an eyebrow at her, waiting for further explanation. I promise it will be worth it. The three of them waited for more, but Marlene remained silent, keeping a twinge of unknown to their adventure on Wednesday night. Well, I already know what I'll do with Sirius then, Mary flashed a cheeky smile to all of them. Do tell, Pandora piped up, rolling to her side to throw Mary a curious look. A good girl never tells her secrets, Mary replied, very pleased with the girl's interest. Oh, please, Lily snorted. She covered her mouth to stifle the laughter, while Mary glared playfully. The other two joined quickly, sniffing at the irony in Mary's statement rapidly. Either way, I need all of you to keep your boy on a leash and away from Sirius for my plan to work. You guys can't speak or acknowledge him either. All three girls nodded without question, even with unyielding interest bleeding from their paws. I can keep the map on me and make sure we're all staying away from each other. Evan can help as well, Pandora murmured, yawning very adorably if you ask Lily. God, she wanted to kiss her. Lily squeezed the girl's cheek, bubbling up laughter from her as Mary and Marlene agreed. Every woman for herself then, Marlene smiled rapidly. Every woman for herself, they echoed. All of them fell into a fit of laughter, letting the time pass with no worries in the world. After the hell and whirlwind of last week, Lily couldn't be more grateful for the tranquility of this small moment. It was made 10 times better when Pandora leaned over and placed a gentle kiss against the edge of her mouth. Lily grabbed her by the chin and deepened the kiss, not worrying about the people around them. They had so much time left in the world, and Lily wanted to make every second count. So she kissed her. Oh, to be young and in love, Mary sighed. You could be if you really wanted to, you know, Marlene scoffed, arching her eyebrow with amusement. Mary smirked at her like she knew something nobody else did. I don't want to hear anything from you either, miss. Let me sew my girlfriend in front of the entire school and make them watch. A bout of bickering erupted between the two of them for what felt like the millionth time today. However, Lily hadn't a care in the world. Pandora's lips captured her desire, flooding Lily's thoughts with only one thing. The beautiful girl she wanted to call hers. Oh, that's cute. I'm actually kind of sad this is coming to the end. I'm happy because I've been doing this one for literally weeks now, and before that I had not done that. The longest I did a fic for was 2-3 days, and now this is weeks. But this is adorable. Anyway, I actually am so curious what Mary's gonna do to Sirius. That'll be fun. Okay, thanks for listening. Bye bye.